Hi there. Today I wanted to talk about the impending doom of the coming real estate crash, or not. Um, Wanted to just address some of the things that I've had people ask me about and that I've seen talked about online in all different forums related to the real estate market and the economy. Um, right now, the word recession is all you're hearing in the media. And of course, in the past, when we've had recessions, we've had real estate declines. And in somewhat recent memory still, for a lot of people, we've had a major crash of the real estate values, across the board. And the first thing that I would like to say about the idea of the real estate market declining significantly is it depends. And what does it depend on? It depends on where in the country we're talking about, or more specifically, the neighborhoods that we're talking about. And I think that one of the factors that, if you want to determine whether the values are going to decline significantly or not in any particular area, one of the main things that you can look at is the amount of inventory that's available in that area and what the demand for that inventory is. I've talked a little bit about days on market in the past in other videos, but in this video, I did a little bit of research on the beach cities of Los Angeles, specifically the South Bay, which is where myself and my family, live and work, and specifically the cities of Manhattan, Hermosa, and Redondo Beach, and even Long Beach. I looked at some of the historical statistics that I think are good indicators of where a market may or may not eventually go. Because if there's going to be a real estate decline, ultimately it doesn't happen super fast. You can kind of see it coming, and then everybody likes to try to time it. But there's a lot of different factors that have to come together for a market to actually crash. So the first thing that I would look at in the current market is how much inventory is there, how many houses are available, and among the homes that are currently available, how many people live in those communities, and what's a typical market look like, really. So for instance, Long Beach is the largest of the four cities that I referenced, and they have 468,000 people, give or take, according to some statistics I pulled on Google. Redondo Beach has 66,000 people, Hermosa 20,000, and Manhattan Beach is a little larger with 35,000 people. Well, let's take a look at how many homes, for a moment, were selling in 2018, for instance. In 2018, we were not in a recession. The market was relatively healthy, if you will. We had recovered from a recession, and we were pre-COVID. None of the COVID things were happening. Back then, in Manhattan Beach, there were 38 homes that closed in August of 2018. There were 18 homes that closed in Hermosa Beach, and there were 91 homes that closed in Redondo Beach. Just a couple months ago, in 2022, in August, in Manhattan Beach, you only had 53 homes sell. In Hermosa Beach, you had 15, and Redondo Beach, you had only 28. In comparison, I said there were 91 homes sold 4 years ago in Redondo Beach during that same time. So 3 times less homes were transacted for instance, in Redondo Beach in August of 2022 versus August of 2018. And just to round out the statistics, in Long Beach, you had 314 homes sold in 2018 of August, and then in August of 2022, we had 236. So significantly less homes were transacted in Long Beach as well, significantly, like a third. So when you look at some of those statistics, and then you think about what the demand might be today and in the future for these homes, even with interest rates rising and other things happening in the economy, The reality is there's just not a lot of homes for sale. You've got tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of people and just a few homes for sale amongst all of them combined. So as a result, you have a lot of people who can afford to buy those homes and a lot of people who are very secure in their mortgages for the rest of the homes that are not for sale. And that leads me to sort of the next point that I want to make about the differences in times and what might lead to a real estate crash and why today is so different than different times of the past, such as the 2008 to 2012. Since I've been a realtor for almost 19 years now, I've been through several real estate cycles, even the earlier real estate cycles than that. And what the drivers of some of those declines were are not present today at all. In addition, the mortgages and the amount of equity that people have in their homes, especially on newer mortgages, is much, much different today than it was in the past. And that's because banks have learned their lessons, and they've made it a lot more difficult over the last 10 years, especially, to qualify and complete a loan and a mortgage on a new home. So as a result, the banks took less risk. And since the banks took a lot less risk, people put more money into their purchase, and that creates a lot more stability in the market without getting into a lot more specifics about economics. And it just makes sense. If somebody has to put 20% down in order to get into a home over the last 5 to 10 years, they have equity in that home from the moment that they moved in. In the early and mid and late 2000s, as a realtor, many people bought homes, including myself, with no money down or very little money down, which meant that there was very little equity in the properties from the moment that the person purchased them. And so when you look at all of those different factors, I think it's pretty, obvious to see that barring some really, really significant things happening in the economy, some negative things, it's going to take a lot more than a few ticks up in the interest rates to dramatically impact, the real estate market, which means that the values, while they will go down in areas that are less desirable and have more inventory, what you will most likely see is that the areas that are prime and are sought after and don't have a lot of inventory and don't have future inventory coming, because a lot of the statistics that you see when they have these national conversations about the values have to do with new home construction, and they look at the statistic of how much inventory of new homes there are available. In the areas that I just mentioned, there are no new homes available. And I mean that because there are no new tracts of homes or new neighborhoods of homes. The only new homes are homes that have replaced old homes that were torn down to make room for a new home. And that's not the same thing as going into an empty lot and building a whole new neighborhood of homes. And so I hope that this conversation has been helpful. Please like and subscribe to my channel and to my videos if you wouldn't mind. It's very helpful and greatly appreciated. If you have any specific questions, I am available to just about anyone that wants to have a real estate conversation, whether it's California or the rest of the country. I am knowledgeable in other areas of the country as well, but I specialize, of course, in Southern California. Please contact me directly. My email address is homesbythebeach@gmail.com, and I can be found at my website at hoffhomesla.com and online on Instagram at broker.extraordinaire. And thank you so much for your time and for watching my video, and I look forward to bringing more information to you and helping you out as I can in the future. Take care.